All right, so we're going to go to apps.iowacitieschools.org. So again, if you got the web drive earlier, then you can just sit tight for a second, or you can get out this the lab that I handed you last week and kind of start to look at that as well. I'm going to go ahead and go through here. So apps.iowacitieschools.org. When you click on that, you're going to have to log in with your Iowa City Schools username and password. Hopefully we can make it through that hoop. Fingers are crossed. Once you get there, you're going to click on apps at the top. Okay. And then click on search all apps and type in web drive, or if you type in just, I guess, WE will get you where you need to go. I'm going to pause here for just a minute. Again, if you already did the web drive thing, then you should be fine as long as you told it to open every time. Okay? But if you got stuck last week when we were doing this, I want you to try and do it now. Okay? Once you've got to web drive, you're going to click on web drive to open it. Yeah. Is it still not working? Okay. Why don't you just hop on and we'll just work with somebody else. Because you talked to her, right?
I did not.
You do not?
Well, I didn't.
Do you want to go run down and see if she's there right now?
I do.
Why don't you real quick? I'm recording this all too, so you can, you'll have access to it.
GG's, Courtney.
So then, if you have not yet set up WebDrive, here you're going to click on Google, okay, and go through that process. And I can walk you through that if you need to. But you're going to set up, and really what this is doing, just so that you know, we are using a virtualized server to run our program, okay, the Logger Pro program, and we have to have a way to access what's in Google Drive on that virtualized server, and this is the way we do it. It's still not working, is it?
Negative.
It is yours doing the same thing
I'm
still?
still getting the error.
Okay.
No. You click on the phone. In the different.
What do you mean click log?
We're not there yet.
Yeah. So I asked, and I have not gotten an answer. So what I'm going to ask for those of you that it's not working for, if it doesn't work, I just want you to find somebody else to work with. Yeah. If you have it in your line. As long as you can load it on, that's what we're going to do.
Wait on me. Wait on me.
I'm not wrong.
And now.
I swear by the old gods and the new.
So maybe.
You know what I thought about the other day? Why is it called Greek mythology?
There's all.
All right. Okay. Physicists, I need your mouths quiet so that I can make sure that we can keep moving, because this is not the primary goal of today, right? Okay. So if you have not yet successfully set up WebDrive because you have an error, and I've talked to a couple of you, I have sent that information to the tech people and hopefully they'll get back to me. But for now, we're just going to kind of pair up and we're just going to make that work because I want to make sure that we're doing the physics. The technology is just a tool for the physics. So once you've got there, we're going to go back to the apps.iowacitieschools.org. And I'm going to say leave because I want to make sure that I'm there. We're going to search apps again. Now we're going to look for Logger Pro. This is the program that we're actually going to use. Okay. So this is what the program will look like. In order to do this, can I say one more thing real quick?
Yeah.
In order to do this, you will need to download a video from Canvas so that you can use it. And it may have flipped over, and I don't know why it does that, but I will see if I can figure that out. We'll go with it for now. Okay. So you'll need to go onto Canvas. I'll show you where that is if you haven't found it. Isaac, did you have a question, hun?
Yeah, I clicked on it and then it disappeared.
Me too.
Okay. You clicked on what's it, sweetheart?
We were at the apps and like you looked up Logger and you clicked on the Logger.
So it probably means, because that's happened to me before as well, it probably means that it is open in the back. So why don't you close it? Like close out of Chrome. Are you listening to me? Close out of Chrome and then open it again and see if it'll open up now. Does that make sense? So the video that you'll need to download to your Google Drive is the one that says videoanalysis.mov. Okay. So you're going to download that to your web drive. Okay, to your Google Drive. And once you're there, sit tight for a second because we'll go from there. Okay?
Still didn't work.
Me too. You're from a kid's valley. Did you restore?
But this time when I click online,
I'm the mother of trouble.
they give me this.
Well, we have to do that.
Okay.
We have one.
So here's the thing. The attitude has got to go. Okay, I don't have time for it. I'm trying to teach you physics. I'm trying to use some technology to make it work. If the attitude is going to be there, it's then you need to be gone. Okay?
Yeah.
Why don't you restart your computer and try
So go to, I just clicked download.
Were you able to get it, Courtney?
Yeah, she had to reset it.
For whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
Who
It
knows?
was the same thing I was typing in.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't, sometimes it gets cranky like that. I don't know. Yeah. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I need your attention up here. I said this to a couple other people, but I'm going to say it to everybody. Okay? And this is something that I'm going to tell you for me and for every other teacher and pretty much, friends, for anybody that you're interacting with. Okay? We need, when we're working on something and we're trying to problem solve, to leave the attitude out. Okay? I am working and doing my best to help you learn physics. I am doing that in a way that I think is good and important. Yes, do we run into problems? For sure we do. That's how life is, right? If you go in with a positive attitude, it's going to work out better. If you go in with a terrible attitude, not only does it not help you, but it doesn't help anyone else around you. Okay? It's just a life lesson. Try it out. It makes a difference. All right? If you are here, I think that many of you are, and if you are here, go to Insert and then down to Movie. When you go to Open and scroll down, you'll find WebDrive at the bottom, hopefully, that you've installed. Okay? If that is the case, then navigate through that WebDrive to find the video wherever you stored it. Okay? No, I don't remember which one it was. I'm going to go with, well, gamble. Try this one. Fingers crossed. Yeah, it is upside down. I don't know why it does that. It doesn't always. It's not consistent, so it's hard to know. I know, right? It's annoying. Whoop. Oh, that was the wrong one. Pick the wrong one.
I don't recognize that. Who is that?
Her name is Liz. She's one of my physics kids. Or my, there we go. I'll do that again. Sorry about that. Oh, apparently I'm picking all the wrong ones.
At least it's not upside down.
At least it's not upside down. That's right. Let's see if I can find the right one now. Did you get it figured out?
Well, like, there are options up here, but I don't believe that.
It was this one.
My face is pretty just because.
I didn't double check this because I figured it was the right one. Hey, there we go. All right. So, regardless of where you're at in this process, I want you to pay attention to what we're doing right now. Now, I know that this video is upside down, and honestly, I will tell you I do not know why. It's annoying and it's kind of weird, and you can flip it over and sit it on your head if you need to, if it's driving you nuts. I will see if I can figure out how to fix that. But if that makes you happier, and you can actually, now you have to function with it that way as well, because we have to do some things on it. But we're going to use the tools of Logger Pro to do some video analysis. You remember last week I showed you that basketball shot, right? From the game that was played on Monday, right? The Best Buddies game. We're going to use the same tools today with this to measure the velocity of this cart. Because tomorrow I'm going to give you tracks and carts, and you're going to need to measure the velocities before and after collisions. So I'm going to teach you how to do it right now so that you know the process. Okay? Yes. Yep. So if it's not working for anybody, find a buddy, okay, and listen in and follow along. Does that sound okay? Okay, we'll make it as best as we can. So when you're looking at the video, upside down or not, take a look at that little button down here that's got 3 red dots and an arrow. Click on that, and that's going to open up your menus, okay? There are 2 very important pieces that you need to do anytime that you're doing video analysis, okay? The first one is to set your scale. So whenever you make a video, you have to have something in it that is of a known length so that you can set it so that it can measure velocities accurately. Because otherwise it's going to say, I don't know what a meter is, and so it travels some distance in a second. So there are 2 little ruler things. You're going to pick, I think it's the top one. I'm going to double check here to make sure. I'm just going to hover over it, and it says set scale. When I hover over this one right here, do you see that? Now, I don't know if you can see in the video, and it's kind of funny because it's upside down. I apologize for that, okay? If I click on that one, it gives me this little hash, right? And I'm going to put that at one end of this meter stick. I don't know if you can see that there's a meter stick that I set right next to my track. Conveniently, a meter stick is a meter long, so I'm going to click on one end of it, and then I'm going to draw a line. It makes a nice little green line to the other end. I'm going to say that is, it says, how far is it? It's a meter. That's great. Now you can do this with something that's less than a meter or more than a meter. When I was doing the basketball shot, one of the math teachers was standing right there. So I asked the kids, I was like, how tall is he? Right. And I just set it at his height because I knew that he was my kind of scale set. So we're going to say, okay. And now it knows in the entire video that everything is going to be based off of that. Now this isn't perfect. It's not exactly straight, but you get the idea. On the bottom here, there are a bunch of buttons, and I'm going to click forward, because I don't know if you can see that person's hand. There's somebody there. They're going to give it a push, and then it's going to start to move. And I want to find out how fast it's going while it's moving. So I'm going to click back to right after she lets go, because I don't care about the part where she's applying a force. The part where she's applying a force, you know that she's applying a force, so that means it's going to change its velocity, right? It's going to accelerate. But as soon as she lets go, as this cart moves, it's nearly frictionless. Okay, it's been designed such that there's very little friction. And so now it's going to be moving at nearly a constant speed. The next thing you get to do is to pick a point that is fairly visible on your cart. So it looks like the far right part of the cart is pretty well defined between that and the background. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to click the second button down that has the little dot in the crosshairs, and I'm going to choose that one, and I'm going to put a dot right at the end of my cart. When I click that, it automatically moves it 1 frame forward. Okay? And so now I can look for it again. And I'm going to try and click as close to the same spot as I can. I'm going to click it, and it moves forward. Okay, this is a little bit tedious.
We do this for the entire time.
I would do it for most of them for the motion part, yes. So this part, like I said, is going to be a little tedious. Because it's moving in one dimension, the y values don't matter. All we really care about is the x, right? Because it's just moving in the x. So that makes it nice. I would encourage you to do like the whole time, because if you get off a little bit, the more data you have, the better your average is going to be. So I'm just going to put some dots in here. It is a lot of dots. It's a lot of data, right? That's great. The more data we have, the better. If you're sharing with somebody and you want to switch off to let somebody else do the dots for a little bit, you're totally welcome to do that. Okay, share the fun, share the physics. Right? Makes sense. There's so many dots. I feel like you're criticizing the number of dots back there. As a scientist, I think you would like that many dots. More dots means better data. Awesome.
It's like 15.
That's what you mean. I know. All right. So once you've got some dots, and again, the more dots you do, the better your data is going to be. But once you've got, I don't know, 15, 20 dots, now click on the graph. Let's see if I can get this to move. I can't. Okay. So you've got two pieces of data here. You've got two things being graphed on the same axis. Once you've got to a point like this, can you put your left hand up just so I kind of know where we're at?
With him, so I couldn't get the video.
Oh, that's fine.
No, because I was like asking what you and like you put the dot on.
All right, are you guys doing okay? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to keep going here for just a couple minutes, just to make sure that we're still following. So all of this process you will do tomorrow, but instead of just one cart, you're going to have two carts. So more interesting things happen than just one cart moving across the track. But I figured let's start simply. So which information do we find most exciting? What's the thing that we really care about? Is it the X or the Y? The X. In the Y direction, your dots should be about equal, right? What does that mean? This is a distance over time graph, and you've got a straight line, a horizontal line. What does that mean? Not moving horizontally, right? It's staying in the same position over time. That's good to know. In the X direction, though, we've got a slope. That's cool. So we're going to go like this. First of all, I'm going to click on the axis over here, and I'm going to go to More. This window allows you to decide which things you want to look at. Okay? So tomorrow, when you have two carts, you're going to actually use two sets of dots to measure them. And so you'll want to be able to click the things that you actually care about. I don't care about the Y, so I'm going to uncheck the Y box, leave the X box checked, say okay, and then I've got this nice line. Okay? Now, not only do I have a line, but I can figure out how fast it's going. So that's kind of nice and convenient. Yep. So if you click on the axis and then say More, then you can tell which ones you want. Does that make more sense? Cool. Why do you want that? But yeah. All right. So now I want to know the slope of this because I want to know how fast the car was going, right? So up at the top, the reason that I like Logger Pro better than graphical analysis, which we use sometimes, is because it has more powerful tools and it really can do that, the video stuff, which the other one can't. So anyway, we're going to go over here. The statistics is going to be able to tell you like maximum and minimum. That's going to tell you an integral. That would be the area under the curve. That's what I did in the lab problem that we did a couple days ago. Today, I want to use the linear fit. Okay. So I'm going to set a linear fit. Now, because I have these windows open that are kind of goofy and I don't want to mess them up, I'm just going to leave them here. But you can affect the where your data set is looking at. So if you happen to put a dot in a funny place, then you can set your brackets to be just the right part that you want, just the part you're looking for. Okay. So you can, if you have one that's wonky, then you can get rid of it. So you can look just like there. But my data looks like it's all pretty nice and linear. And now the nice thing about this, ladies and gentlemen, this one is a line. You can fit curves as well. You can do quadratics and you can do, quartics. You can do whatever you want. But for this one, I do just want a line. The slope is negative 0.4848 meters per second. So it actually tells you right there, boom. That's what it is. That's what you want to find. That's the slope, right? Okay. Is that kind of making sense? Everybody that has a computer that's working correctly, are you there? Are we okay? We are there. Awesome.
I just have a slightly different slope.
Like how slightly different?
I have 0.4892.
That's okay. It probably just has to do with where yeah. So I would say as long as it's like 0.485 to 0.5, you're okay. Yeah. Answer? Yes. Okay. All right. Issues, questions, concerns right now? We good? All right. We've got 10 minutes, which means that I want to move from this. I want you to just get a sense for just a moment of how you might do these problems. So I'm gonna stop this first of all.